Hello. We are live. I'm live together with you. I'm here today to talk to you about Cambridge English exams. This is like an introduction to the exams. So, my name is Jelena from the page Cambridge English Ellen. And I have, hi, and I have language school called English with Ellen. So today I'm going to talk to you about Cambridge English exams, how important they are and why they are important at all. Okay, so I'm an exams teacher. I actually teach also different levels, but I tend to focus on Cambridge English exams more and more, and I really like it. This is not about IELTS, this is about Cambridge English B2, C1 and C2 actually. So I'm not going to talk about IELTS, but I'm going to talk about some general things, and IELTS is also part of those things, but I am not an IELTS teacher, that's the thing. So I'm 39 years old and I have a lot of experience in this. I have been teaching for some 15, 16 years, and I've been preparing candidates for exams for like 10 years. And so I prepared, up to now, I have prepared more than 180 students for this exam successfully. Yeah. Okay, so let me just see something. Okay, cool. You can ask questions. Okay, so I'm later on when I finish with my little talk, I'm gonna look at the questions and answer them. So this is about Cambridge English exams. The University of Cambridge, as you must know, is one of the most prestigious universities in the world. One of the oldest and still one of the most prestigious. Ashwini, hi. And this university has a lot of departments. One of these departments is called Cambridge Assessment English. And that's what's important to us. So you don't have to be a student of this university in order to get a certificate from it. And that's so cool. And so this Cambridge Assessment English is a department of the university, and actually this department issues our certificates, and we get a diploma from the very University of Cambridge. So you can go to Cambridge, to England, to Cambridge, and you can take a course there, you can see the exam there, but you can also prepare anywhere in the world for this exam. Be it in India or China or somewhere in the USA or Serbia where I live. So wherever you are, you prepare for the exam, and the exam is always the same. So there's the standard, and they cannot change it. It is as it is. Examiners have to follow strict regulations, and each exam has to be the same and assessed in the same way. So you can prepare for the exam on your own. You don't have to go to school or to a language center or even to have a tutor to prepare for this exam and to register. So you can do it on your own, which as I see is kind of difficult, because students tell me when they try preparing on their own, they don't know where to start. It's crazy. There are lots of things. There are so many books. There are so many programs. You don't know which to grab first and where to start. So it's good, to go to a school or a language center, or to hire a private tutor, and that person can help you take this exam if that's what you want. And that is actually something that is pretty cool to have. I'm gonna tell you why. More than 5.5 million people take these Cambridge English qualifications every single year. Can you imagine that number? More than 5.5 million. This is data from their site. Now, it's amazing, and it's either Cambridge English C1, B2, C2, IELTS. There is also lingua skill nowadays, and there's like there are those business English certificates too. So 5.5 million people. I'm in disbelief. Okay. There are 2,800 exam centers around the world in 130 countries, and exam dates are available usually throughout the year. So in my country, you can take the exam almost every single month, sometimes even more than once a month. And they are computer based and they are paper based exams. Now, yeah, and in each country you have more than one center. So, you know, you go to cambridgeenglish.org, and there you can find a center in your like a Cambridge testing center in your town or in your region, and you can compare the prices. They are not always the same in each center, so make sure you check them out as well. The price range, well, it depends on the exam, but it goes from 150 euros or dollars and up. So I said that the rules are the same everywhere. The test is basically the same everywhere. Hi everyone, there's a question. Let me see. Hello, hello. We're talking about Cambridge English exams here, and now my picture froze. Okay. Wait. Okay, cool. Uh, Good. Having a supervisor's assessment is of utmost importance, so preparing by themselves is not the best choice, yeah. That's why I think as well. I mean, you can do it, you know, you can do, you have all the information for free. Nowadays on every single topic. But it's just a matter of time. How much time and how much effort is it going to take you? Is it going to take you 5 years or 3 years or 5 or 6 months? Like if you, um, for example, I have this new C1 course, and it takes 22 weeks. And you can do it in 22 weeks if you are a strong B2 student or a pre C1 at pre C1 level. You can do it in even in at like I did research. This is not just something I made up. So you can do it in just a couple of months. So moving on. Um, yeah, you can visit cambridgeenglish.org, the official website, and you have all the information about each of these exams there. Um, the good thing is that you can take the exam as many times as you want. You can even take like two different exams at one like exam period. For example, you can take C1 and B2 at the same time. Not okay, like in 1 month. A huge team of top language experts actually works on creating these exams. And well, we have to, have trust and I mean there is proof of how good these exams must be if top language experts work on creating them. These exact top language experts are those who teach those kids, those students at Cambridge University, and Cambridge University is one of the best in the world. So yeah. So this exam is the proof of your language ability. Um, how can we actually know how good we are if we don't take an official examination, and if we don't know exactly what our strengths or weaknesses are and how good we actually are at our language skills? So this exam is designed to develop real life English language skills, and most of all, it's focused on our communication skills. So there are 4 different skills in language learning. So they are, and they are divided into 2 types. So receptive and productive. So the receptive are reading and listening. You're receiving information. You're reading, you're listening. And the productive skills are speaking and writing. You're producing new language. There are also systems, and that's grammar, vocabulary, and functional language. And all of those things, all those 4 skills and 3 systems are tested in the exam. So it's very comprehensive, yeah, comprehensive test. Okay, so these skills, these communication skills, are what higher education institutions and employers actually want. So these exams prepare you to, so they actually enable you to perfect your English for real life purposes. Once you have the certificate, you can, it's usually a requirement for the universities around the world. And there's a whole list of those universities and what exam each university takes as a requirement for their studies. So you can check all that. Also, you can check them out on cambridgeenglish.org. Also, there's a list of companies which also require their future and prospective employees to have one of those certificates. Okay, so the skills we are working on are for life, and they are very much linked to our goals in life. The curriculum actually, and the topics we work on, and the questions we need to talk about, and the writing tasks we need to do are all connected to real life topics, and they develop our critical thinking, our HOTS or higher order thinking skills, analysis and critical thinking. And that's very, very important because they also, as we work on that, as we work on our higher order thinking skills, we also develop our confidence, and these exams also develop our self-discipline. Especially if you're taking a course like mine, you have to be really, really focused and self-disciplined in order to, pull this off and do it in 22 weeks. But the thing is that my students usually tell me these exams are difficult because they make us think. At school, at high school, and also at university, there are lots of subjects where you just need to memorize information and recite the information in front of a teacher and you get a grade. Nobody actually requires you to use your brain and to think and to analyze and to connect the dots. It's just memorize this, okay, recite it, do the test, that's it. But here, for these exams, you actually need to use your brain and your mental power. So how does these certificates, be it IELTS or Cambridge English, C1, B2, okay, C2, how do they help us? Well, 25,000 organizations in 130 countries accept them as proof of your language knowledge. So 25,000, and the number is growing. There's this blog on cambridgeenglish.org, and I was just checking the blog today before this live, and it says that some other universities and some other companies in the US are now also, they can introduce this exam as the proof of a language knowledge of a person. So they improve your career prospects, that for sure. Just one a student's mom was telling me the other day that she couldn't attend a conference at her work because she didn't have a certificate of English. Imagine that. So you need to have a certificate in English in order to attend a conference. That's amazing. Like, and it's going to happen more and more, you know. And I know about two young girls, like young women, who came and asked if they could like prepare for C1 in a year. They had a deadline to prepare for it and take the exam in a year because that was their requirement to stay at the university where they were teaching. So they were teaching at this university here in Serbia, and the requirement was to pass the exam up until that date, or else they would like have to, you know, find someone else who has the certificate, because I guess that these universities accept more and more international students and foreign students, and they need people who will teach them in English. So yeah, they are definitely going to improve your career prospects for highly skilled jobs, and educational institutions, of course, accept them. So my student Irina, who passed the exam in March this year, she is just enrolled in a university in Switzerland, and she needed C1 level. So for this university in Switzerland. Yeah, and my student Anya also, she has finished university in Holland. I'm not sure what, it's some university town where she studies. It's not Amsterdam, but another one. I don't know the name. And she also needed C1 when she was enrolling in the university. Also, governments accept the exams in terms of like immigration. So when you are, for example, when you want to emigrate to an English-speaking country, Canada, for example, accepts C1 Advanced, and Australia as well. And yeah, lots of people take IELTS for that purpose. The thing is that IELTS, for example, has an expiry date. So it expires in 2 years. But these Cambridge English exams, B2, C1 and C2, don't have an expiry date. Okay, that's worth mentioning. There's this CEFR scale. CEFR is Common European Framework of Reference. And it is a scale that divides the knowledge of language into 6 levels: A1, A2, B1, B2, and C1 and C2. Now, A1 and A2 are beginner levels of English. Once you're at that level, the beginner's level, you will know how to do certain things, but how to, you know, get your way around a town, or, you know, when you go on holiday, it's enough to have A2 level, you know, just to know to talk to people in a simple way, nothing like, you can talk on all topics, of course, but when you are at B1 and B2 level, well, at that point you are an independent speaker, independent user of a language. So at that level, B1 and B2, you can communicate to people on a variety of topics. But once you reach C1 and C2, you are an advanced academic. That is an advanced academic level, and you are supposed to be able to communicate on all sorts of topics, known and unknown to you, and to know how to talk to different kind of people, and to talk how to write in formal and informal style, and how to write a good essay for university, for example, or how to write a good report at work. So it's like totally different kettle of fish. Okay, so Cambridge English exams, if you take a Cambridge English exam, such as B2, C1, C2, the whole exam focuses on one level. So when you take C1 Advanced, all the questions are going to be at that C1 Advanced level. That's why IELTS is different. That's how it is different from these exams. So in IELTS, all the students take the same exam in IELTS. Like the students who are at level B1, B2, C1, or C2, everybody takes the same exam, though there are two types, academic and this general exam. And so there must be some questions that even a person at a B1 level can answer, and there must be some questions that the person at the C2 level can answer. So that exam is different. IELTS is different. Due to that, it has bands, it has points. It's like if you need to reach like band 7, it means that you are at C1 level. But there are some easier questions and some harder questions. But when you are taking, for example, C2 Proficiency exam, all the questions are going to be hard. So there's no way someone at B1 level is going to pass C2 Proficiency. So that's how they're different. TOEFL works the same way as IELTS. Hi everyone. I just want to look at the questions for just like a minute to see if there are some questions. Okay, there's one in the box. Well, ask a question. Okay. Someone asked if they can ask a question. Now, talking about Cambridge English exams, the format of each of them, B2, C1, and C2, is the same. There are 4 parts in the exam. We call them papers. There are 4 papers. There is reading and use of English. That's paper 1. They used to be separate. There used to be use of English paper and reading paper. Now there's just one, reading and use of English. That's paper 1. In that one, okay, we have reading tasks, and we also have use of English, which is basically grammar and vocabulary. Grammar and vocabulary are tested there. Then we have the second part, that's writing. We write two texts. The first one is always an essay, and the second one you have a choice of 3, and you choose one of them and you write on that topic. It might be, for example, a review of a movie, an email to a friend, and, for example, a proposal if you are taking C1. Okay, then there's listening, and finally there's speaking. The skills that you need for each of these exam parts actually overlap. Okay, so in order to do reading and listening, for example, really well, you need to have strong vocabulary and grammar. In order to do speaking really well, again, you need to have a good range of vocabulary, and you need to know how to use the functional language. Okay, so how much preparation time do you actually need? So that, first of all, that depends on your current knowledge. Someone who is at lower B2 level is going to need more time to prepare for the exam, and someone who is like pre-advanced, lower C1 level might need a few months, or 6 months, or 9 months. But also, one important thing is how intensive your preparation is going to be. Are you going to have 1 lesson per week, or are you going to work on your skills every single day, or are you going to have 2 classes per week, like in a usual traditional system? So it depends on your current level and on how intense the preparation is going to be. So it usually takes from 9 months to 18 to get from B2 to C1, or from C1 to C2. It usually takes from 9 to 12 to even 18 months, depending on the intensity. Okay, how to prepare? I talked about this a little bit, but it's important to use official preparation materials issued by Cambridge University Press, Oxford University Press. Macmillan Education is also very good, and Pearson is also excellent. So these four, I really like these four. There are also some publishers from the US. Oh my God, they're called Expert. No, it's not Expert or something like that. Okay, not sure. I can check. And they also have preparation material for Cambridge English exams, but this is what I suggest. I suggest Cambridge University Press, Oxford, Macmillan, and Pearson. You also need to have a good comprehensive grammar, and then you can use, the internet, of course. So there's Write and Improve, which is Cambridge English one of their websites for practicing writing, and you can practice writing there. It's really good. So Write and Improve. Of course, this is software. It's a computer. The computer checks your texts. It's not a person. So it can never be the same, as we can never, draw a parallel between that and a teacher who really knows what to look for in your writing. But it's a good way to practice on your own. So this writeandimprove.com, I think, or I think it's .com, and there's speakandimprove.com as well. So Speak and Improve is also some software solution for practicing speaking on your own, also by Cambridge. There's BBC Learning English. You have lots of interesting videos and lessons on BBC Learning English. And of course, there are so many self-study materials on cambridgeenglish.org, mock exams as well. So the one more important thing is that the language, if you are preparing for these exams and you want really to boost your level of English and to practice your skills and to be ready for any kind of context, to speak to people, to speak to people in any kind of circumstances, be it formal or informal, to be a very important asset in your company, so that you are like irreplaceable because of your language skills, and almost like it's just everything is going towards the international aspect. For example, each company usually works with someone abroad, and you need this language as the global, the world is turning into this global village. It has already turned into a global village. So I'm speaking now, and there's there are you from all over the world, and this is like, seriously, it's crazy. So it's a global village, and English is this lingua franca, or this universal language we all use. It is as it is, like it is English. So the thing is that when you are taking the exam, the language, the vocabulary and grammar, it's not enough. It's just not enough just to know lots of words, and to know like how to form, I don't know, present perfect continuous. You need to have a deeper understanding of how language works in order to pass these exams. And you need to be able to understand the subcontext when you're reading a text, or when you're listening to a text, or when you're writing. So you need to really understand how it works, and to know all these nuances of how this language actually works. And once you know how it works, you will know how to, it will be much easier to study any other language. And yeah, that's the really cool thing. You also, as you study for this exam, because it is devised in this way, you also practice your skills, such as communication, which is the most important skill nowadays. Like, if you don't know how to communicate, you can be the best expert in the world in a field, in an area of expertise, but if you don't know how to communicate that, like, you know, it's all in vain, and that's very sad. So you need to, if you want to be, you know, the leader in your area of expertise, you cannot really, it would be very difficult to make progress without English. Okay, so the exam preparation basically teaches you how to think in a different way. Maybe will be the first time you will need to think this way. So you will need to think critically. So when you're reading a text, you need to answer some questions, or you need to write, you will need to think critically. So critical thinking is what we practice on my course, or whichever you choose. And this is hard to do on your own. So this is why it's important to have a tutor. Then you need to defend your opinion. So we need to learn how to defend our opinion, how to say what we think. To judge, we need to judge what we have read. So then, when you're writing, when you're speaking, you need to organize the information. So they are actually assessing the organization of your writing and your speech. You need to examine certain things. You might need to categorize, compare and contrast, summarize something, explain, paraphrase, discuss. Okay, so all these things are actually parts of those higher order thinking skills, aspects of those. And all of these things are something we really work on my master course, C1 Advanced Master Course, that's going to start in a week. So if you're interested in what it looks like, there is a link on my page. When you click on the link, there will be information about the course, so you can check it out there. And if you want to work with me, and if you are at strong B2 level or pre-C1 level, you should just complete that questionnaire. I will analyze the answers, and then we'll see if we can work together, and that would be really cool. So in just 22 weeks, you can, reach academic level, and you can actually take the exam like in April, which is so soon. So I would like to see if there are some questions. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask. Let me see. The eyeliner. What about the eyeliner? Okay. No, actually there are no questions. But I hope this little talk your current level is B2 and you feel stuck. I don't know. Yeah, I know. It's not I don't know. I know exactly what you mean. That moment when you reach a level and you feel stuck and you feel you can't go up, you can't go further, it's called plateau. So you reach that level plateau and you feel like you can't climb another, mountain or hill and get up to the next level. In that case, it's all about, there must be something you're not doing right. There must be something. So, number one, what I suggest all my students do is read a lot. Reading, believe it or not, it's the most important thing in language learning. Something you can do on your own. So that's reading. You will subconsciously acquire like a better understanding of grammar, and a lot of you will understand how language works. You will start to sound much more natural. once you read a lot. Doesn't have to be a novel by Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre is a novel. A novel by, I don't know, Charlotte Bronte. Um, or, I don't know, it doesn't have to be a Sherlock Holmes novel, you know. It can just be anything you like to read. Do you like to read about psychology? As I do, I love reading about psychology. Uh, you can, read those kinds of books and those kinds of articles, or I don't know, you like makeup, so find some material on the topic you like and read about that. And anything you read about, it's anything you read is going to help you for sure. So what you can do actually to help yourself um, on your own when you feel stuck is read. Also, we have so many options. We can listen to those amazing podcasts, and you can learn a lot. You can like learn the language and learn a lot at the same time. Um, and once you are at B2 or C1 level, and you have the whole world opens, with all the podcasts and all the books and all the material. Like people who can speak English, it's much more difficult to access the well of knowledge that you can if you know English. So it's just amazing what you can learn for free, you know. Okay. Any other questions? You see? Okay, not really. Okay, so I hope this helped clear up some certain things about the exam. And if you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the comments, and I'm gonna save this. So make sure you post them in the comments, and I will be happy to answer. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, and see you soon. Bye.